Thank you very much. Well, Ken called me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of this again this year, because I think I was here the last 2 years. I started thinking, I said, what in the world could I talk about that would get on the excitement level that LSU has gotten to this year? And I've come up with nothing, so thank you, Ken. No, I think the obvious, if any of you who have followed LSU and watched over the years and then have followed them this year, I think the biggest difference is that it's a totally different team. It's a totally different concept. Nick, you talked about culture. I think Coach O has brought a new culture into that locker room. You know, they totally changed how they played. I was on defense, so it's a spread offense. They spread those guys out. We got such great athletes and such great players that now they're putting them in space to allow them to make great plays. You know, we have the players to do it. You know, I mean, we got a quarterback who's a Heisman semifinalist, a Heisman candidate. He's also a Maxwell Award semifinalist. We have a freshman defensive back who's a college defensive player of the year semifinalist. And every time I see Stingley make a play, I say wow, but then I got to say wow again because I say, man, that dude's a freshman. You know, sad part about it is he won't be here very long. But that's the kind of players they have. Between the receivers and the linebackers, we have the players now that when they implemented this new type of style of offense, it just lets those guys thrive. You know, and I think LSU has come into the modern era of football. You know, it's not anything like we played. You know, you know, when we played, it was hand the ball off, run up the middle, hope you get a first down, if not we punt. You know, that's how we played. And as a defensive player, you stop the run. That's what you did. Now it's wide open, and it's I think all the hype this year, which I mean this week, is for a few reasons. For one, you got the number 1 and the number 2 team playing in the game. But it doesn't matter where you ranked. You got to play when you take the field. Number 2, I think LSU has not had a lot of success against this team. So it's almost like a anticipation. You know, the fans and even myself, I see the potential with this team and how great they really are. So you're kind of anticipating with an excitement to say, you know, they have every chance in the world to beat this team. The only thing better would be if in Baton Rouge, you know. But you go where you go and you play where you play. I think it's just an exciting time. You know, like I said, the culture has changed, and the reason why I say that is because I think even some of the older guys who maybe in their last year from the previous administration, they're not used to this. They're getting used to it because it's easy to get used to winning, but it's just a whole culture change. And each time I visit and I walk through that place, it's something totally different. But it's just it's an exciting time to be an LSU fan, and it's just I'm looking forward to it. It's 2 teams that, you know, I think when I say LSU walk into the new era of football, they're playing against teams, including Alabama, who have been playing this style of offense and playing this style of football for a lot of years. So it's, I think they're catching up and they're caught up, and we got the players to do it. So it's an exciting time, and I can't wait for Saturday. Anybody got any questions?
Roland, in your opinion, does LSU's scheme make it a lot more, I don't want to say easier, but a lot easier to move the football on a team like Alabama that's so stout up front?
Well, I think the 2 teams are evenly matched, I think what it's going to come down to is execution. You know, Nick talked about that as well. You know, you don't win by, you know, throwing the ball 70 yards down the field every play. You got to win in the trenches. You know, those guys, it doesn't matter how fast you are, how fast those guys around the end are, how good your quarterback is, you got to protect him. You know, and they got good running backs too. So if defensively, we got to stop them. And I think that's where it's won. You know, the big guys up front, and it'll never get away from that. It doesn't matter how many fast guys, and I said that because I was one of those big guys, but it doesn't matter how fast your guys are, you gotta play ball. And I think that's what it's going to be. Whoever executes and does the fundamentals, the blocking and the tackling, and the discipline and keeping their gaps and doing what they're supposed to do, I think that's who's going to win.
Hey, this season is really kind of mirroring the 2011 season when LSU was going perfect, and you know what happened at the end of 2011. But I think this game has more to do, not who wins the game, but this could be the deciding factor of the Heisman Trophy winner between Tua and Joe Burrow. Do you see it the same way?
Well, it's got a lot of ramifications to this game. This is number 1 and number 2 in the country. That means the winner of this game more than likely is going to go play for the SEC championship. SEC championship, you got to win that before you get into a playoff situation, for the national championship. So I think this game holds a lot of weight. And to be honest with you, I think Burrow's the number 1 front runner for the Heisman. I may be biased, but I think he does everything well. It's he's a great passer. He's a very smart guy. He's a very tough guy. And oh, by the way, if I don't have somebody to throw it to, I'll run it. So he's got a lot of weapons, and that defense, they have a lot to stop Joe. And I think he's the most complete quarterback. But yeah, you're right. It might go a long way with the voters. If Alabama winds up beating them, I never understood a lot of voters, but it could go that way. You're right.